What is the biggest mistake you ever made in business?
Biggest mistake I ever made in business was in March of 2020 when I decided and announced to the company right after the pandemic that I would not lay anybody off.
Ooh, interesting. So that was like a pride thing in terms of I don't want to lay anyone off, so like let me say it and I'll like force it into reality, or what was going through your head?
We had 1,500 people, pandemic hit, you have all these media reports of, and again, you have to go mentally back to COVID March of 2020, not where we are today. Complete uncertainty, pictures of people in New York, hospital beds piling up, Italy, everyone's whatever. So everyone's freaking out, total uncertainty. I announced to the company, we will not lay your jobs are all safe. We will not lay anybody off. You will, we're not going to give anybody a raise this year. So everyone's salary is going to stay flat year over year. But in return for that, it seems like the human thing to do right now is to guarantee you all your jobs and your health insurance during a pandemic. I'm not going to put anybody out in the street. Mm-hmm. And at the moment I was lauded, everyone was like, that's a great, the employee base thought that was great. Meanwhile, Airbnb laid off thousands of people, thousands of people. They later that year had a $100 billion IPO. Mm-hmm. And my big mistake was it turned out that in not laying anybody off and telling everybody we weren't going to lay anybody off, that it was a performance management nightmare because a lot of the good people that didn't get a raise were like, wait a minute, I can go to a different company and switch jobs and get a raise. So why would I stay here? So your loyalty was not rewarded, number one. And then number two, a lot of the people that were poor or mediocre performers were like, woohoo, I can just like do nothing and I won't get laid off. And so it gave people an excuse to do nothing. And
you basically removed the carrot and the stick.
It's a bad idea to take the carrot and the stick away.
Yeah, fascinating.
Yeah.
And so did you have to go back and correct it at some point?
You do correct it, and you have to correct it over time. Mm-hmm. It's not the kind of thing that you can do quickly. I think what hurt me most was not that the people who didn't perform well kept not performing well. It was the people that were the best performers that left, that mm-hmm. didn't show any loyalty, that hurt mm-hmm. me the most. Mm-hmm. Now, I will tell you,
losing your best people was more painful than keeping your worst people.
Yes.
Like the worst people are already dragging you down. So like how much worse could they almost perform? Right. But losing your best people was a big blow.
It was the fact that they showed no loyalty. That I thought that, and again, not all the best people left. Some of the best people left. Mm-hmm. And when they would leave for a higher salary somewhere else, after we as a collective unit said, hey, we're going to protect all of our people here, we're all in this together, mm-hmm. we're one team, they were unwilling to share the sacrifice or burden a little bit. Mm-hmm. By the way, today, you see Salesforce laying people, you see all these layoffs happening. And mm-hmm. I just wouldn't have done that again. Mm-hmm. That was a mistake. It was a mistake because it hurt the best people and it may have saved some of the worst people, but ultimately it hurt the company too much.
Yeah.
And I would undo that if I could.